I'm a big fan of analogies. And the reason being is sometimes like you've got to understand business or this business thing is like its own world, its own entity. And many of us, respectfully and humbly, didn't necessarily grow up with the mindset of business, invest in yourself, personal development, learning. That's not natural for most of us, right? So the reason why often when I'm sharing lessons and tips and doing sessions with my clients, I give analogies is because it's easy to understand a real life example and then apply it to business. So one of the ones I often will say is when you want to learn how to drive, you don't think twice to invest in a driving instructor because you know that driving instructor has already passed, is already qualified, can get you to where you want to be. So the natural thing to do would be to invest in a driving instructor, do your lessons, learn everything you need to learn, take your practical, take your theory, pass your test, and now you can drive legally. It's the same concept. So when I share that with people, they're like, oh yeah, that obviously makes sense. Of course, I would invest in a driving instructor to learn how to drive. I'm like, yeah. So invest in a business coach slash mentor to learn how to run a business. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Why do you think people struggle with it from a investing in a business side of it?
Oh, great question. For loads of reasons. For starters, running or starting, creating, running, managing a business is already going against the grain. It's already not the norm. So there's massive fear around it. It's who can I trust? But what if I do it all myself? What if I just read books? What if I go on YouTube? All these things are fine. But at the end of the day, like I said with the analogy, you could spend years, if you like, learning it yourself, making mistakes, being on quite a lonely journey, or you can invest in a coach and a mentor, plus get the knowledge, the skill set, their mistakes, be a part of the community and massively accelerate your journey. Because don't get me wrong, and I think it's important that we be honest, this entrepreneurial business owner journey can be lonely, difficult, tough, stressful, moments where you feel like giving up, moments where you feel like, actually, should I just go and get a proper job? And all these things are very valid and normal feelings. But the question you've got to always come back to is, what's your strongest reason why you want to go against the grain, be your own boss, do your own thing, run your own business? And as long as that belief is strong enough, then the notion is do whatever possible to get there, which would mean investing, learning, growing, making mistakes along the way, learning, improving, tweaking, so on and so forth.
Actually, I want to find out from you because this is something that I've recently been experiencing as a bit of a challenge in my own personal life. But that very first step that you took towards that business world, and we we talk about this quite a lot between us, that it sometimes from the outside looks like it's a bit cultish when you're like fully immersed in all of the business stuff and you discover all these new things about yourself. Like I've just been on such a journey myself with this. And so like how did you get kickback when you started like discovering all these things about yourself and family, friends? Like how did you deal
Your
with
face says it all. So if you're not
Oh,
watching,
100%.
you
That's
need
why
to
I'm
go
already
and look at his
smiling.
face.
Yeah, no, you know, it's a wonderful question, and I'm grateful that you've asked me because I know myself, yourself, others are have experienced it or are experiencing it right now. So let me share a bit about what happened with me. So for context, I come from a family who are very big on going down the traditional route, which means go to school, go to college, go to uni, get your degree, get a job, climb the ladder, so on and so forth, right? Specifically at my grand's house, she has what I call like the wall of fame, right? And every grandchild and child on that wall has the graduation picture with the funky hat and the scroll, all that stuff. Everyone is on that wall barring me. So oh my goodness, I got it from family members, aunties, uncles, my mum, close friends. Why are you doing this business stuff? Why don't you get a proper job? Constantly. And the interesting thing is, and look, I want to be real with everyone. It's not necessarily that you have to seek external validation. That's not what I'm getting at. But what is interesting is the question you will often get is, why are you doing this? Right? However, when you stick at this thing called business and you keep going and you're building a name, you're getting out there, you're doing podcasts, you're creating events, getting clients, so on and so forth, growing the revenue, the question switches from why are you doing this to how did you do this? And when that question happened in my life, I was like, this is interesting, because the answer of how is all the things that I was doing that you told me not to do when I was doing them. So yeah, so I've 100% experienced it. And all I would say to, this is a bit of tough love, all I'd say to those who are on the journey is, don't force others to understand the journey that you're on, because it's your journey. Some will be along the road with you and will support you, share your posts, come to your events, sing your praises, all the rest of it. Others won't, and that's fine. But the best thing to do is not to judge anyone for any particular reason, because at the end of the day, they're on their journey, which means they're doing what's right for them. And I'm on my journey, or we're on our journey, and we're doing what's right for us.